Fulton-Montgomery Community College's Early Admit Information Night. My name's Mimi Eglin. I'm an admissions counselor at FM.
I'm Christy Davis. I am the academic advisor here at FM for early admission students.
Kathleen, if you could pull up our PowerPoint. All right. All right. So the early admission program at FM is for high school seniors to have the opportunity to take college level courses on our campus. Seniors have the opportunity to participate in two ways. They can take classes that are required for high school graduation, as long as they are in the top half of their class with the recommendation of their school counselor or their high school principal, and they can fulfill high school graduation requirements. So typically in their senior year, they would be taking English, participation in government, and economics. If they don't fit that criteria, they can come and take classes that are for exploration. So they're still earning college credit, but they're not transferring the classes back to fulfill graduation requirements. So they don't need to be in the top half of the class with those recommendations, but they still can come to campus, take classes for exploration, so they can take a business class or a fine arts class to take classes for exploration on our campus.
And Mimi, I would just say that in the past, usually about 50-50 is what we have for students. So we probably have about half of our students taking high school graduation requirements, and then the other half might just be coming for a couple of classes part-time to explore a career or just earn those extra college credits.
Sure. Of course, why choose the early admission program? So earning college credits while they're still in high school, while they still have, parents at home, the guidance staff, transitioning from high school to college, getting their feet wet, experiencing life on a college campus is a great way to, see what it's like. College courses are very different than high school classes. Not only are they different in the aspect of the way that they are run, our classes are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 55 minutes and Tuesdays and Thursdays for an hour and 25 minutes. Taking classes that are not offered at high school. So we offer advanced classes, higher level classes, enhancing your college resume. So if students are planning on applying to competitive college, this does help to set them apart. So it does enhance the application and transcript. And saving money is a huge aspect of our early admission program at FM.
One thing I would say too, quick, Mimi, I'm sorry, is—
Oh no, perfect.
Just one of the biggest differences between high school and college that I try to go over with students and parents is the 15-week semester. That is a big change from high school. So you are used to the September through June, where you've got all year typically for one class. And if you're struggling, in the first couple of weeks or months, you do have a little bit more time to kind of pick up that grade and catch up. But in college, it is usually a 15-week semester. Our courses run the first week of September, roughly through the middle of December for our fall semester. And then there's a good 4 to 5 week winter break every year. You'd pick up your spring classes towards the end of January. Those are going to run until the middle of May. And it is 15 weeks. So it does go a little bit more quickly, I would say, than high school. So one of the biggest benefits, I think, from early admits that I hear in parents is that students have the opportunity to get used to that rigor, to that schedule. Mm-hmm. Whether you plan to go to a 4-year college after high school graduation, or you do plan to continue your studies at FM, this is a good kind of trial year to get used to that semester. And as far as competitive colleges, I have quite a bit of early, quite a high amount of early admits that are looking at private colleges, RIT, RPI, St. Rose. We're part of the SUNY system, and so we have a lot of students that go right to SUNY as well. But if you are looking at more competitive colleges, even Boston University, I have a student looking this year. So it does, I think, absolutely set you apart from maybe just taking college and the high school credits at your high school. This is actually on a college campus. You're getting that experience. You're showing that on your transcript, and you're getting some good faculty recommendations as well.
Absolutely. And it's a nice point as well, Christy. When we talk about the 15 weeks, you know, the September to December is the fall semester, and then our spring semester starts in January. So it goes from January until May. So if a student is going to follow our schedule, they would follow just strictly our schedule and, you know, not the high school schedule. And students have the opportunity to take classes with us and at their home school, or at the Career and Tech Center as well. So we tailor each early admit schedule is unique to that early admit, which when they meet with you is fantastic, because they sit down and get a schedule unique to them. Which we'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Financial aid. So for our early admission students, full-time early admits are eligible to apply for TAP, which is through New York State, as long as they successfully pass the ability to benefit exam. Early admits are not eligible for any federal financial aid, so they're not eligible for any student loans or federal Pell Grant, but they are eligible for TAP, and they are also eligible for the New York State Excelsior Scholarship. They must file and complete the free application for federal student aid. Part-time students, so if a student is going to come and maybe only take one class, they're not eligible for any any financial assistance. And we do offer an early admit scholarship that Christy and I have the pleasure of awarding to our early admits. So there are, when a student applies and is accepted, all early admits receive that scholarship application. Now they must be fulfilling high school graduation requirements. So that is one of the requirements for that scholarship. So they must be enrolling in English, participation in government economics, and PE in order to be awarded that scholarship. So the cost of attendance for full-time is just a little bit over $5,000, and that is full-time for the whole year. So broken up per semester. So like we talked about, fall and spring is $25.20 per semester. Part-time is broken by credit of $210 per credit, for an average of $630 plus fees. And that, of course, you have to add fees, and books vary. Textbooks in college are a bit expensive. So we encourage all early admits to save. You know, part-time jobs over the summer and things, getting everything complete early. We have had fabulous luck with our early admit students getting everything done earlier this year. So they know what is kind of going to be what they're responsible for as far as tuition, fees, and books. So preparing now, you know, perhaps getting everything set and in place. Our financial aid office, we have such a wonderful financial aid office. The ladies there are ready and able to assist families and questions, filing the free application for federal student aid. So reaching out to them now and getting everything set so that the family budget, it's within the family budget. Students know, families know what their responsibility as far as the tuition and fees, what is going to be out of pocket.
And I would say on that as well, for first-time generation college students that might be watching this. So you don't have a parent or a older sibling who's gone to college, and this is the first time for you and for your parent or guardian to be filling out a FAFSA. You can request a Zoom meeting with our financial aid director or our financial aid helpers along the way, and they can walk you through it. It is a little bit scary at first, and we understand that. And that's part of the benefit of choosing a smaller community college is you are going to have a lot more personalized service, I think, to walk you through it the first time and make sure you are getting everything that you are eligible for if you are as an early admit student. I would also say with the books, we have come a long way, I think, at FM in trying to save students money on books. When I went to college at SUNY Oswego many years ago, I was spending $500 or $600 a semester on books. And I am seeing, we can't guarantee it would be less than that necessarily, but I am seeing a decrease in books overall over the last couple of years. A few ways we accomplish that. There are book rental options in some cases. So you may have the option to buy a textbook new or used, or even rent a book at a much lower cost. And there are some classes now that offer books digitally, and that is a huge cost savings. So sometimes that will be part of your class and it will be included in your fee. Sometimes it will be an option to you, and that can definitely save money along the way as well. So again, as Mimi said, the sooner you complete the FAFSA, if you are coming full-time and you do complete the program and the application, that is the best way for them to be able to tell you at our financial aid office exactly what you're looking at as far as your responsibility and how we can help you plan for that, even if it includes maybe a payment plan along the way.
Absolutely. Okay, so the early admission application process. So the first is discussing the program with your school counselor and your parent or guardian to let them know that you're interested in the program. The next step is the early admission online application. So that's the first step. And then there is the early admission paper registration form that's found right at our website. So the student and the school counselor fills out the paper registration form, and then the school counselor sends the registration form and the student's transcript, high school transcript, to me. And then I review for acceptance into the program. So the school counselor signs off on their recommendation, whether the student is coming to FM to take classes that are required for graduation. So whether they're taking the high school graduation requirements at FM and transferring them back for graduation purposes, or they're taking classes for exploration. They'll sign off on their recommendation, attach the transcript, send it off to me. I'll review for acceptance into the program, and then let the student know that they have been accepted into the program, and which program, whether for exploration or for graduation purposes. This is where you would find the information on the early admit program at our website. So right at fmcc.edu, under the admissions tab, there is the early admission program. That's what that looks like. There's a screenshot of the early admission program tab. And this is where you will find the paper registration form. So those are links where you would click on, you first would click on the online application. It will bring you to the early admit application, and then you'll click on the registration form. Oh, I'm sorry. So there is the early admit application. That's what that looks like. And then the next slide is going to show you the paper registration form. So this is what you're going to print and fill out. First part on this registration form, and the most important part, is your social security number. So we do ask that you don't make up a number. You don't use a parent or guardian number, that you actually refer to the number and social security number that has been assigned to you. It is how, if you are applying for financial aid, how we connect you at the college. Rest assured, all of the information is secure. So we do ask for it on our online application and this paper registration form, and all of the information is secure. You're going to fill out the general information. We ask for a student signature and a parent or guardian signature on this registration form. You're then going to bring the paper registration form back to your school counselor. Your school counselor will sign off on their recommendation. They'll let us know at the college what high school requirements you'll be taking at FM. And then, like I said, they'll send this and your high school transcript to me. I'll review for acceptance into the program. And then I'll reach out and let you know you've been accepted. Once you're accepted, I have found that the students, when I reach out to them, the first contact is I let them know via text. When I text an early admit, they get right back to me. That once I let them know via text that they have been accepted into the program, and I let them know that it's time to schedule that ability to benefit exam, they respond fairly quickly. So I let them know via text that they've been accepted, and I schedule that. Sorry about that. I let them know that where they're ready to schedule that ability to benefit. That exam is held on our campus. We have our next ability to benefit is April the 14th. So we are scheduling monthly. So we do have our next one in the next couple weeks ready for our students. And then after that, they make an appointment with Christy to schedule their classes, because enrollment begins for the fall on April the 5th.
Now on that, if we could actually take a look back maybe at the slide for the ATB test, just to, yes. So the ATB test is a mix of writing, reading, and math. And it is required for a student to pass that ATB test in order to be enrolled in the early admit program and to pursue those high school graduation requirements of English, politics, government, economics. We'll talk about those in a few. So it is an important test. And Mimi always makes the point with a student, if something comes up and you're scheduled for that ATB test and it's just not a good day for you, whether you're not feeling well or something's going on in your life that it's just not a good day, you feel rushed, you know, we want you to have the time that day to take the test and pay attention to it. It is important. It's important for the reason, you know, to be able to complete the program and enroll, but also it's tied to financial aid as well. So if you are pursuing full-time enrollment, passing that ability to benefit test also is part of being eligible for financial aid. So please keep that in mind. The test is a couple of hours. Everybody kind of takes, you know, a little bit different. Sometimes students take an hour, sometimes it takes 2 to 3 hours, depending on how quickly you work through those areas. And Mimi also has a practice exam that she usually emails to students ahead of time, just to get you familiar with what the questions are going to sound like and look like along the way.
Right. And what it is that's a great point, Christy. When I let them know they're accepted, I also send them an email. It is a paper review guide because the ATB is from the College Board, so it's very similar to the SATs. So the questions, I like to familiarize students with how the questions are asked. Obviously, they're not the exact questions, but it is a nice way for students to kind of see the way that the questions are asked on math and English. There is an essay component also with this ATB. So students do need to know that they are going to write an essay. I also let them know the next date, because our ATBs are filling up very quickly. So I let them know the next date that we have available for an ATB exam, and if they'd like to secure a spot in that ATB. What I'm also finding too with students and rescheduling, unfortunately, we have had students who have scheduled an ATB and then have to quarantine. So we have had to reschedule students who have unfortunately come in contact and then had to quarantine. So we can make accommodations for students. You know, we can rearrange and reschedule. So absolutely, all they need to do is reach out to me. They can call, they can text, they can email, whatever is most convenient for them, most definitely.
Great.
Awesome. We also have a nursing prep program at FM for seniors. There is criteria that they need to meet in order to be accepted into the early admission nursing prep. So they do need to be ranked in the top half of their class. They must have completed Algebra 1 with a 75 or higher. They need to have the Regents Biology with an 84 or higher, with a Regents exam of an 80. And they will enroll as an early admit student full-time for the fall and spring semesters in order to participate in the nursing prep.
And I would say going quickly, just going for the nursing, there is also a chemistry requirement for a certain grade level in Regents. And if you were unable to take your Regents for chemistry, we will talk about that and we will see what our options are. If you have taken chemistry and done well at the high school, we can possibly use that as a prerequisite. But again, every student is different. Every student that I see comes in and they have different grades and different courses completed, and you may need to take chemistry at the college. And we do offer that prerequisite in the fall semester as well as the spring semester. So if you are interested in nursing specifically, let me know that ahead of time. We will go through your high school transcript to see if you do need to take any college classes with us in order to apply, and then we go from there. For regular early admits though, for students that are looking at all different majors, and maybe you have a major in mind, maybe you don't, maybe you're going to use this opportunity to explore different careers. When we meet, to make your schedule, that is one of the things we speak about. Are you coming full-time for high school graduation requirements? Or are you just interested in a couple of classes? You know, you do want to go to your high school in the morning for a couple of hours, but then maybe you want to come to FM later in the morning or in the afternoon, evening, take some classes with us and explore a career, just get some extra college credit. We speak about that. We talk about the program next door at the Career and Technical Center. I have a lot of early admits, especially this year, that are in a hands-on learning type program next door. So we design your schedule so that you're at FM in the morning and you are done with our classes around either 11 or 12, so that you have time to get over next door and take your courses there, your shadowing that you do over there, the observation hours. So we work with you on that. We also talk about your placement test. You know, where did you place with the English and the math? Most students do not come into early admit needing a math course for their senior year. So really it's the English we speak about. You know, how is your writing? Do you like English? Because that's an important class for you to take in your fall. It's a lot of writing. And then in the spring semester with us, you're going to take a bit more literature. You're still writing, but you're reading more as well. And that covers your high school English requirement. We also talk about your goals. You know, I have a mix of students, some that come in and they already have their school picked out where they want to transfer to. They've met with a transfer advisor there. They know the classes they need to take to be competitive, to get into that program and to transfer. And some students don't. Some students, you know, think they have an interest in healthcare or criminal justice or business, electrical technology. And this is a great opportunity to fit those classes in along with your high school graduation requirements before you go off to that big four-year school and commit to a major, commit to housing, and commit to that cost. So I think we really do try to tailor your schedule according to what works for you. If you have clubs, activities, sports after school, certainly a bulk of our classes are in the morning and the early afternoon. So we work around that quite a bit. We also have a lot of clubs and activities on our campus that you can join in. You are a full FM student. You are a rater when you come to early admit. So if you want to be part of our clubs and activities and athletics and you know, anything that we're offering, you can be as active at FM as you want to be. Slide, please. Thank you. And so again, the schedule is going to vary. You could have 5 other students in your class from high school that are pursuing early admit, and you may not see any of them in any classes because we have English and government and economics and gyms throughout the morning and the afternoon. So you may not be in the same class with anybody really that you know. You might see some familiar faces, but we have students that are adult learners that come to campus. We have international students, students from all over the state of New York. So you will be treated as an adult. You will be mixed into classes with all regular FM adults. Nobody is going to put a sticker on you, that says early admit student. So your instructors may or may not know that you're an early admit student. Also depends if you disclose that to them. But government and economics, those are courses that all high schools need to, that all seniors in high school typically need to take. So those are the courses usually that we build in to your schedule each semester. And for gym classes as well, if you're taking your physical education requirements at FM, we have physical activities. So you could be jogging or taking weight training or yoga with us, or you could take what we call a book gym. And those are more textbook gyms, kind of like health classes. We call them wellness classes. We have a weight management class that's very much like a nutrition-based class. And then we have an intro to stress management. So if you do not happen to be the physical activity type of person and you want more of a textbook type of a gym, we can arrange that as well to transfer back to the high school. Most students have health, but if you need it, we do offer options. And then students also often ask me, well, what am I going to take outside of my high school graduation requirements? Well, again, any class that interests you, any major that interests you that we offer, maybe take an introduction to criminal justice or business type class to get a feel for it. Or I have students that say, I just want to play it safe. I don't know what major I want to do, but I want to make sure it's very general, something that I need for any college, no matter where I go. Well, that's also something we can help with. All majors need math, science, and we call them general education requirements or liberal arts. So we have a lot of safe classes for transfer. So if you don't want to dabble in a major, but you want to take things that are very transferable, no matter where you go, we can also arrange that as well. Slide. And as far as student services, as an FM student, early admit, Raider, you are going to be eligible for all of these services at FM. Our Evans Library has a writing center and a math lab. So if you are taking English, your high school requirement with us, you can walk in the library anytime during the week. Somebody in person can help you. We will also have remote tutoring for those who want some extra help remotely when they're home at night or on the weekends, but we have that in-person tutoring as well. Math and science is very common. We have a lot of science classes, anatomy, chemistry, physics, and we have tutors for those subjects as well. I mentioned activities before. We are extremely excited that we are planning to be back on campus in the fall semester and have students in classes. Activities are coming back, and we do have a variety of clubs. If you go to our website, fmcc.edu, you can actually click on student activities and see a list of all the different clubs and activities that you can participate in. Career and transfer advisement. I work very closely with our career and transfer expert. Her name is Andrea Scribner, and she's the person responsible for all of the agreements with the SUNY colleges and with the private colleges for all the different majors across New York State and even some of our bordering states. So if you come to me and say, my goal is RPI, my goal is RIT, my goal is Binghamton, she can help me to make sure that the courses you choose during your early admit year are the most transferable and the ones that will get you into the program. So we offer that as well. Evening advisement, my hours are typically 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. now. If you need later than that, if a parent works until 5 and you need to come later, please reach out to me because I can very likely accommodate that certain evenings of the week. And then financial aid assistance, again, especially for those who might be a first generation college student. I was, and I would have liked some help. And I think my parents would have appreciated that as well. Somebody to walk you through the process and to help you answer those questions, because it can be a little scary at first, the first time you do it. But I also can guarantee after this year, if you do that FAFSA application, next year when you have to do it, because it is a yearly thing you have to do no matter where you go, it's going to be that much easier the second time around. So we can help you with that as well.
Absolutely.
And as Mimi had said, we do begin registration next week. So I am going to enjoy a long weekend and Easter And then next week, it begins. So registration will include, you can come in person, I'm flexible, or if you like to do an appointment remotely, virtually through Zoom, or if you'd like a phone appointment, I'm open to whatever works for you. The other thing you can do in the meanwhile, if you did want to look on our website, again, fmcc.edu, we do have the fall schedule posted now. So you can actually see all of our courses offered in the fall. It will list the days and the times. It will tell you if it's in person or if it is online. And I can tell you most of our classes are planned to be in person in the fall. So you can get a feel for what classes are offered. There's course descriptions on there as well. So you can read a little bit about a course before you come into the appointment. You can write things down and plan them if you want. But if you don't do that, that's what I'm here for as well, to help you figure that out along the way. Okay. Right. Any questions?
One thing we didn't mention, Christy, as far as our scheduling, the spring and the fall and the spring, we hate to talk about this, little tiny bit. Our fall starts in September and ends in December. And then if students are only taking classes with us, they follow that schedule. So then they're done for the winter break from that second week in December through December until the end of January. So they have a good long winter break. And then they start the spring semester at the end of January and go until May. We don't have a February break or an April break week. We do not have those break weeks. So students can't take those weeks off. They can't follow the schedule that the high school follows. They can't go on a fabulous trip with their family. So those are typically weeks where the family goes on a holiday. They really need to have a conversation with their family because they can't miss the week's worth of classes with us.
Absolutely.
It just doesn't work.
No. What they can do is over that long winter break, I think it's a good 4 to 5 weeks off in between fall and spring. I mean, that is a cruise in itself, 4 to 5 weeks off in the winter break. And then also typically we have a spring break in March. So if a student is just taking classes at FM and you're following our schedule, you not only have that long winter break for vacation, family, trips, all of that, but you also have a week off in March typically. Now, if you're taking classes though at the Career and Tech Center and at the high school, you have to follow both schedules.
Yes.
But also the good news is too, we end in mid-May usually. So we end about a month earlier than normally you would be in high school in June. So there's a lot of perks to it, but it is a good point to mention that you have to balance your time and you have to manage that, especially if you are going to take any classes at high school or at the Career and Tech Center as well as at FM.
Absolutely. And also we do reserve the right to return a student to their home school at any point within a semester. Unfortunately, there is a lot of freedom on our campus. So there aren't individuals in the, O'Connell Hall in our classroom building telling students to get to class. So there is the freedom of, not having someone there to, tell students to get to where they need to be. So the ultimate goal and the end result is having the student walk across the stage in June in a cap and gown and graduate from high school. So we need to make sure that that happens. So if there's any danger of them not graduating from high school, we need to make sure that we get them back to the high school to make sure that in June they graduate. So we are in contact with instructors on our campus, with their school counselors at their home schools to ensure that in June the graduation does happen. So it's a fabulous program. The advantages, we do have a couple of questions I saw in our chat, so I want to make sure that we get our questions. First question is tutoring. Is there a cost for tutoring? So Absolutely not. We offer tutoring in all academic areas. So we have tutoring, we have a math lab, we have a writing center right in our Evans library, and we offer, those are open, those have academic tutors, or they have student tutors as far and professional tutors. We have academic coaches on our campus, and we offer tutoring in all areas. So if a student is struggling in a psychology course,
Yep.
we can get them a tutor. So we offer tutoring, and that's a free service that we provide for all students. Mm-hmm.
As far as advantages for early admission, again, I would say getting used to that rigorous schedule, that 15 weeks, fall and spring, that is, I think, a big advantage. And I think that is something that speaks to parents as well, because if you are going to look at a four-year college and, living on a campus and things like that down the road for your child, for your student, this is a great way for them to get used to the rigor of the college program. And I do communicate with parents along the way if I do find out, of course, if a student is struggling or not doing well, not showing up in a class. They are going to be treated as adults here. So, if Joey is not showing up for a couple of weeks, the instructor hopefully will let me know along the way, but they are going to be treated as an adult. It's not going to be an every single day, Joey missed Wednesday, where is he? It won't be that type of interaction, but we do have a midterm point as well. So think of it like a progress report in high school, but about halfway through, 7 weeks in, I get a grade report for all classes. So at that point, if I see a student is not doing well, I'm getting more detail from the instructor, I'm including the guidance counselor, I'm calling the parent. That's part of that early admit application where a parent is signing, is I'm getting permission to speak to the parent and to the high school if there is an issue. And a lot of times too, it's just a student just needs a little extra help in that tutoring. And, before it gets out of hand, we want to make sure you have all of the help on the campus that you need.
Right. And I'll go back to what we talked about earlier too, the advantages of, earning college credits while they're still in high school, and the cost savings, and, getting their feet wet, while they're, still at home, when they have the support of family, while they have, their school counselors, while they have while they have, so much support, in their home, but they're still experiencing a college course and on our campus, which is a tremendous, wonderful in itself. So, those are definitely benefits. Oh, participating in high school activities and sports and clubs is, certainly, this is their senior year. You don't get that senior year back. So, and definitely as far as there's certain dates when cap and gowns need to be ordered by, and, different events that are happening at their home school that are important. So you need to make sure that you're staying connected to your home school, whether that's through friends or your school counselor. We certainly recommend staying connected that way. But sports and activities, Christy mentioned, if you need to get back for activities, if you have, if you're involved and, you have that time that you need to be back there, getting your schedule done on our campus early is so important. So that's making sure that I have your application and registration form and high school transcript so I can get you accepted, and we can get that ATB done soon. And you can get your academic advisement appointment with Christy sooner, so that your schedule can, morning classes, they fill up quickly, like Christy said. So, and popular classes fill up quickly. So
Popular
we want to
teachers too. Ask your friends who the favorite teachers are, because I always have students coming in and the sibling or, the friend from last year recommends somebody. So we will always guarantee you your high school graduation requirements, your English, government, economics, and gym, we have those reserved seats a lot of times for early admission students, but those outside classes, science, chemistry, biology, math, psychology, criminal justice, there are some courses that are popular. Those are electives. Those are open to all students. So sometimes if those fill at the popular times, I don't always have the ability to get you into that type of a class. I can guarantee your high school classes when you need them, but the other classes can get trickier.
Sure. And as far as transfer credit, we have articulation agreements, we have transfer agreements with four-year institutions. We are a SUNY, as Christy said, so SUNY to SUNY is a seamless transfer. You know, we will make a phone call to a four-year institution. And then Christy said about working with Andrea. Andrea has done the legwork, the hard work about setting these up. So she knows, you know, about transferring and the credits. So our credits transfer definitely. And we will make that phone call to ensure.
If you are planning for your scheduling appointment, if you have a college in mind, I have a couple of early admit students that haven't even registered yet because we don't start until next week. But over the last couple of weeks, we've been emailing back and forth to look into the college they want to go to. I have a couple of students interested in COBOL skill, agricultural engineering, which is a newer program for us. We haven't had a lot of students at FM transferring into that, but I've been working with them to make sure we're picking the right math, we're picking the right physics, we're picking the right business and English courses. So if you have a school in mind, you can certainly do some legwork and research, but if you let me know, I'm happy to reach out to that admissions counselor and find out what makes the most sense for you to take during your early admit year. We want you to get the most bang out of your buck for these classes for sure. I want everything you take your senior year with FM to transfer no matter where you go. So the sooner you let me know how I can help, I can get involved and start making phone calls as well.
These are great questions. Any other questions?
And I'm going to put my email address in the chat because if anybody does want to email me to ask about a specific school, if we have an agreement already, if we have communicated with them in the past, what's going to transfer, is this the right fit, you know, for your senior year, please reach out to me because I can try to get you some info ahead of time if need be. Any other questions? All right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for attending our information session. If there are any questions, you can certainly reach us at fmcc.edu. We are offering virtual appointments. We are open, so we are offering on-campus appointments. You can simply click the button and sign up for an on-campus appointment with an admissions counselor. We'd love to see you on campus. We are offering campus tours, so come to campus. If you haven't been to campus, please come to campus. Please schedule a campus tour. We'd love to have you on campus. Like I said, we are open, so come to campus, schedule a campus tour, come out and see us. fmcc.edu. Or give us a call, 518-736-3622, extension 8301. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Everybody have a wonderful evening.